It's moving. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. Oh, in the name of God. Now I know what it feels like to be God.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We're episode 40. Tom with the Frankenstein introduction.
Yeah, because you're alive.
Yeah, I am alive. Life has happened the past few weeks, but ironically enough, or maybe appropriately enough, I talked to my penis and Frankenstein terminology every time I get an erection. So, because I'm still not using the blue guys yet. Knock on chest over here.
Literally a wooden chest.
Yeah.
You knocked on wood.
Knocking on wood, not my wood. This is a nice chest, by the way.
Have any of you guys heard the ad on other podcasts about it's like chewable Viagra, basically? Like they got some new chewable pills.
Is it gummy?
I'm assuming it's got to be flavored, right?
I don't know. It seems like they're almost trying to market it to younger guys. Do you just want a hard on just because?
Yeah. Young guys are doing it.
Is that the tagline, the slogan? Just
it should be.
Viagra is like a street drug right now because younger kids are doing it so they can last.
I've never. Have you guys ever?
No,
I've never.
No.
I'm fine with what happens.
Maybe. How do you think my hair fell out?
Tom, if you could take a pill to regrow your hair, would you do it?
No, I've accepted being bald. I've moved on.
I think you look better with your hair as is.
See, everyone says that, so I think they're all being fake nice.
No, I'm not. I'd be blunt with you, Tom, as you would be with me.
Yeah, nothing. I lost my train of thought.
I was just reminded of one thing my dad liked to say when I was a teenager, growing my hair real long. He used to say, whenever people gave me flack for having long hair, he'd be like, well, if I had hair, it would be down to my ass crack.
That seems very dirty. It's getting caught up there and stuff.
You could wipe easier with it.
Oh, that's so gross. I mean, I guess people with dreadlocks, it isn't much better. They don't wash their hair for 15 years, and it's probably the same smell and effect.
I remember someone with dreadlocks was in a college class. He said he washed it with soap, but just like a regular bar of soap, like you would wash your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And it got the job done.
It's just rolled up dead hair on top of your head.
So this week,
isn't all your hair dead? Technically, like your skin.
Yeah.
Tom technically has more testosterone than you and I.
Why? Because I'm older.
Because you're bald.
Do you got low T? Take this pill.
Frank Thomas is a great salesman.
So, and I actually, so here's a funny story. I took the freaking, what's it called? The ones that Frank Thomas pushes, because you can get a free bottle. So I got one. I'm just like,
cryo penis pills.
Dude, they smell like pure maple syrup. But no, they do. The pills smell like maple syrup. They are like horse pills. They're massive, so it's you gag every time you take them. But it was one of those deals. If you don't cancel it, you get charged. But I was on top of my game, so I got the pills and I canceled it within a day or two after receiving it. So I talked to the salesperson, and they're like, "Why do you want to cancel?" And the woman, I was on the phone with her for 30 fucking minutes, so I can understand why people don't want to cancel this shit because of fucking.
How much is it if you don't cancel? What was the
$50 a month?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's a subscription, so it's not just one time.
Just so you have more juice in the mornings.
Yep.
Wow.
And to be honest, maybe it worked a little bit. I don't know, but
were you getting more fights?
No.
Were you lifting more iron?
No.
I don't think it worked then.
I'm just thinking of Power Thirst. Remember that video? You never seen it?
No.
On YouTube?
No. Your reference
it was like a fake energy drink commercial on YouTube. It's Power Thirst. You'll have babies. 1 million babies.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, this week we've had a lot of stuff going on. I think we are, if I'm able to say we're kind of witnessing the downfall of Trump. Once again, knock on chest. Even though I think that every week we're witnessing something new. But I guess we should start with the big thing that happened this week was Colin Kaepernick's ad, which to me really meant nothing.
They're really mad upstairs about his ad. You hear that?
Yeah, they're horrible.
They are pissed. They are peeved.
But I think it's hilarious that people are getting so enraged by this ad. It's just ad. Like if you don't like the ad, ignore it.
Isn't that like something to say about our society where like
they care more about that
ads
than real things?
Have like that much of a. It's like we're trying to sell you. Excuse me. We're trying to sell you some shit. You're gonna be upset about it.
I like that Nike did without letting the NFL know because they're their jersey sponsors or whatever.
Oh, really?
So they can do it because they're a private company. But I found it funny the amount of people that were cutting off their Nike logos off their pants.
Oh, I heard about
well,
that.
you still bought the product, and now you're publicizing it more by showing that you're cutting their logo off.
Yeah.
But they're all white guys.
Yes, I thought that would be implied.
What? Why are they so mad? What is so bad about that? And then they're using Pat Tillman's image, their response to it is like some dude created this a similar ad with Pat Tillman's image, and then his family has said before, but they've come out and said again, like, please do not use his image.
He fought and he served in the military to protect people's rights to protests and all that.
Allegedly,
but
No, I know. Like I know he did it. I'm just saying, but however you feel about the military, but what people don't really talk about though is they should be another irony of this whole thing is people should be thanking Obama because before Obama, football players stayed in their locker room while the national anthem was playing, but then Obama thought, hey, people thought...
I just shit my pants, by the way.
Some podcasts have police sirens going on in the background because they're because they're recorded in New York City. We have some kind of, wrestling night upstairs?
I don't know.
Hockey? I don't know. Anyhow, so Obama was the one that made it so football players should be out on the field during the national anthem because he thought it would build up patriotism. Before that, football players stayed in the locker room. And thanks, Obama.
And what I love most about it is, so even that you brought up that fact, that even if you said that fact to another person, that they would come at you with something else that is just kind of misguided to only support their opinion. And that's why I've stopped commenting or saying anything. And I get mad, but now I don't get mad. I'm just like, these people are stupid.
I remember I brought that up to a coworker where he was all enraged about people kneeling or whatever, and
why?
And I brought that up to him. You know, he was like a patriotic Republican guy, and I brought that up to him, that fact, and he kind of agreed with me, but it was weird because he was just like, yeah, why are they even out there? Football's not the American pastime, baseball is. So it's like
my favorite
football
part
doesn't matter, but baseball, you better take off your hat and do the thing.
My favorite part, well, there's two favorite parts because I'm not a football fan at all. The first one is he hasn't played football in like 2 or 3 years, but people still get mad. And also because of his activism, he's still relevant to this day, and he's one of the most known football players, and he hasn't played in years. That is amazing.
And history is going to look kind on him. And as we know, and we've said it multiple times in this podcast, that we're just in a weird moment in history.
Is he more known than Tom Brady now?
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad argument, Tom.
Boom. Football talk. Rawr.
Well, I mean, that's a tough thing, like more known, but I would say like more...
more debated.
I would say like, yeah, he's more debated, more talked about at the moment than Tom Brady is.
Tom Brady is more of, a football celebrity, so if you are aware of, football and what's going on, But Colin Kaepernick has transcended football at this moment.
Yeah.
He's now a civil rights activist, almost, correct? And just supports social causes. And people...
Yeah, social activists more than civil. I mean, whatever you want to put it, but I guess you'd say more of a social activist, because obviously it started with police brutality, injustice, racism, what you're running into, but in my basic understanding,
both can apply.
He supports a lot of he's branched out and raised money for a lot of things, so
okay.
I think he would be considered just
like
a
donate,
social activist.
Like,
Donate
so
a lot of
not
his
just like civil rights, but beyond that.
Yeah, he's gone past that scope.
Well, he's donated a lot of his own money, and people, like, the biggest, like, argument people have is, oh, you're making millions of dollars, like, you know what's going on, and blah, blah, blah. This guy took, like, I can't recall the guy's name in baseball, but there was a player on the Cardinals back in the 60s when, before free agency, he was kind of the start of free agency, because he was like, once you're signed to a baseball contract, that team owns you for life.
Slavery.
Right, so they own your wages and stuff, and he basically argued, that it was wrong. And what ended up happening is no team would sign him, but he was kind of at the forefront of changing that. So people look upon him as like a hero now, but at the time he was a villain, yeah. But
Well,
it took 30 years.
A lot of people, like especially right now, because of Kaepernick and other things going on in sports, they want to like separate sports from politics, sports from activism. When really, when you look at the history, like I would say going back like forever, it's always been really connected. Like that coworker I talked about, he basically had that attitude, which I'm sure he repeated from certain news pundits, that athletes, they get paid just to do their grunt athlete work, and they should shut up about everything else. How would they have a valid opinion, a valid education about everything else? But that's to deny.
I would counter
them anything else.
Is he a teacher?
Yeah,
I would counter them. You should just teach. How can you have an opinion about anything else? You should just stick to teaching your book. It's the same premise.
No, it is.
If you're going into that, then
it's
he should not have an opinion about Colin
like
Kaepernick.
Nobody can be like a well-rounded person, or not even well-rounded. Just have at least two interests.
Stick to what you do, and
that's how I would have retorted to your coworker.
But then that could be applied. That same argument could be applied to every single person.
Well, I would do that just to prove a point.
No, that's true. I
That's
didn't
what
even
I
think
would
about
do.
that. I mean, because for me, like my mind went to like all these different instances where Jackie Robinson, you name it. There's so many instances where sports have intersected other areas of culture.
The most famous one is the two American track runners putting their hands up on the podium in the 60s during the 68 Olympics. The late 60s Olympics.
And we could also
I've known teachers who have had that poster in their room, like just as a
it's
contrast.
an iconic image.
Yeah.
That's
we
the
can
most
also say
famous
that,
one.
well, Jackie Robinson, I think, has been on record saying he didn't want to be the torchbearer. Like, it was just he happened to be the one. He was an excellent player, but there were so many more. There were better players in the Negro Leagues that never played a game in Major League. Like Satchel Paige, just name one. I mean, I think Satchel Paige was considered the best pitcher of all time.
Is that your great-great-great-grandfather?
I am Sicilian.
Yeah, he couldn't live up to him, so he had to drop the I in the name.
Right.
Wasn't good enough for Piage.
But there were actually black players that had to say, and I don't get why just this change mattered, but they would say they were Cuban.
Yeah,
so they could play.
I had a college professor who he was a huge baseball fan. And he brought that up. They would have like people try to teach them a little bit of Spanish so they could like pretend to be Cuban, and that just says how like fucked up American racism was. Is that it's like if you're black and American, we don't want you playing on this team. But if you're black and Cuban, I guess that's fine. Like,
I don't understand the difference. Or where that line was drawn in the sand.
Well, it's like, similarly, take, like, bebop jazz musicians. So, like Miles Davis, Charlie Parker, like that whole generation. A lot of them would, I don't know about if those two did personally, but a lot of jazz musicians and, other black people at the time in the 40s and 50s, they would convert to Islam, because then on their police card, before you had like a photo ID, you had like a police card that would just have like your information that you could show to people and stuff. No picture, I believe.
You could just be anyone.
I don't think they had. Maybe they did, but I don't think they had a picture because it was back then.
So I could have been you.
They would convert to Islam and then go eat at like a white restaurant because they could like show them this police card and they'll say like, "Oh, I'm from the Middle East. See, I'm Muslim." And they'll be like, "Oh, this isn't like a regular black guy. This is a black guy from the Middle East. So he's we'll let him eat at this white restaurant then."
And it's funny because you can almost think we've digressed in society because now people are paranoid
about like foreigners in a way.
I feel we're more like the racial tension in this country is at maybe an all-time high. Would that be stretching? Because
I would say since like Reconstruction probably. Since
what about
there's been like different flare-ups.
What about deconstruction?
I think
was it higher then?
I think deconstruction has been all the time since Reconstruction failed.
And there's also to bring this up, the celebrities who have Twitter accounts who they get famous and someone searches their Twitter feed, and 3 years ago they happen to say horribly racist stuff. Like, I'm not even talking about like minor stuff, whatever, like they're making a joke. It's just offensive. It is racist. You can't say that. No normal fucking person would say that. And then they come out and they issue an apology. "Oh, I'm not, that's not me, blah, blah, blah." No, that is you. You said that. You brought that up on your platform. You said that.
Well, yeah, we're living in weird times where
I'm annoyed by part of that because, like, because kids play professional sports, for like 18, 19, 20-year-old NBA kids, they're going back to Twitter when they were 12 years old and citing stuff. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
They're 12 years old.
Yeah,
because they grew up in the age of social media, they've had a Twitter since they were 12 years old. They were kids saying dumb things, and they go back and, like, this is them. And they're like, dude, they weren't even a teenager.
Have you known, though, since as being like a young kid, that saying the N-word was not appropriate? You know what I mean? It was never appropriate.
Yeah, but kids say dumb things.
Yeah, but
adolescent kids say dumb things all the time.
Everyone's probably said the N-word at one point in time, but it's never been appropriate, and like they're using social media, you're broadcasting that's not a forum to broadcast that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I understand. Like,
I feel like I always knew it was wrong though, but it's like my awareness of how wrong it was has grown
also
with my education.
Who has the time to sit there and scroll through like 7 years of tweets by one person?
It's really not hard.
It just seems such like a waste of time.
It's
someone's getting paid to do it. It's like, all right, dig up some dirt on this person.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it really isn't hard. That's the thing. Like, you're putting yourself out there. Like, if you're a celebrity, if you're looking to get in that field, thank God. Like, I mean, being a teacher is hard enough. Any of our jobs, it's hard enough because any of our HR departments, our employers, can go on our social media. Like, I have mine blocked, so people can only see like my picture and stuff.
I use a different last name. I don't even use my Facebook anymore, but I keep it up.
I remember them telling us not to use certain images because it just affects the hiring process. Like, if you're thought of a potential candidate for a company and someone looks at images of you chugging beers or at whatever where they think drug usage is going on, it's probably going to affect your chances of getting hired.
it's surveillance is what it is. It's you're being watched by your employers even when you're not at work.
And it's funny though because like Facebook and I believe Twitter both had decreases in signups, so their stocks plummeted. One, there's only a certain amount of people in this world that can create accounts, that want to create accounts. And two, people are probably getting burned out at this point. How many social media platforms can you have? Do you really want to
5,000.
Tom, I can't even, to be honest, I have a Twitter. I just have a Twitter that I don't even use. I don't
really
want,
like I trying to use Instagram more, but it's
Instagram.
like I don't use it enough. Maybe I have this new phone now. Maybe I'll start taking more pictures, but since I don't have the cracked screen and all that. But it's funny, like the kids I'm working with now. I don't think they really give a shit about social media all that much as we did. I could be wrong, but it seems like they still love to use technology, just not social media, really.
Well, it's switching. Their interests are switching. So I had a conversation with my boss who actually said that kids don't use Facebook anymore. They use Snapchat. That's their go-to.
Yeah, I think Snapchat would be like the biggest one.
I would say Snapchat, Instagram, and
Facebook was like our Snapchat when it was just college kids. Like that's how we shared our pictures. That's how we communicated. Like that was our Snapchat. They do it with Snapchat, obviously, but that was our form. It was like our closed off little thing that was private because no one else could get in. Now everyone can. Where it's Snapchat, you get to see who sees it in live time.
And now it's turned into a forum for racist and bigotry.
Well, even my parents
America
have told me that they're getting like burnt out of Facebook because they definitely got into it like way too much. Like I remember feeling this like weird feeling when my mom's just like asking my dad like, "Oh, I responded to this person's post saying this. Does this sound good?" And it's like, "Oh my god, like this is terrible. It's terrifying." But I feel like they're still using it a lot, but it's like the steam's running out, and I wonder. My dad's terrible on Facebook. He'll just like share like semi-conservative, like tough guy type stuff, and
Is your dad conservative?
it's complicated. No, he's always. Well, I think he like grew up kind of Republican, but like it's like my grandparents on my dad's side never voted or anything. But then he voted Democrat until Trump, so it's pretty weird.
Well, Hillary wasn't. I will say.
I think that's
wasn't
what
a
it is
sexy
because
thing.
my dad works construction. He's an electrician, so he's surrounded by these like macho dudes
machismo.
who just like focused on Benghazi, and we're just like, why would you ever vote for?
But the same
that
guys
rich? And
who focused on Benghazi are not focusing on the what's going on with Trump's affiliation with Russia.
I actually, me and my dad had breakfast the other day in Brockport at the. No, I'm not going to give him any publicity.
The Dinah?
Not the Brockport Diner, the Golden Eagle.
Hey,
Oh,
Josh
like
had
it?
a really bad
yeah,
experience.
dude.
there.
I
really?
was. That's what I was looking at you for.
Well, it's like it's not a Greek diner. It's definitely a Macedonian diner, because they had flyers for the Macedonian festival right there on the counter. But it's like
Did
the
you make the
owner,
mistake? Call him Greek?
huh?
Did you call him Greek? Did you ask where your euro
I mean,
and your
honestly-
falafel was?
Honestly, Macedonians, you're practically.
Are you
free.
saying Macedon?
it's like Sicilians are Italians, basically. Same.
Italian.
So no, there's a story, and just to top off because the Golden
Yeah.
Eagle. Tom and I went to lunch in Brockport years ago, and I got a chicken sandwich, and then I
only do breakfast.
I
there.
had the first bite, and then I just like, there's something not right, and then I
Got
had
visibly
a second,
upset and
and
ill.
then I was just like, and I spit it out, and I'm like, Tom, this chicken's bad. And Tom was just like, "Oh, okay." Like, but I'm like, Tom, smell.
It's
smell
funny that
this-
you both were at this.
No,
diner.
yeah. I was like, Tom, smell this chicken. And Tom's like, Okay. Why? I'm like, no, please. I'm like, I'm not. I just want you for my sanity. Please smell it. Tom smelled it, and he was like, that smells horrible. Like, so I
It
called.
smelled like, chicken can be in a fridge for like 2 days max.
It gets that like
smelled like they
gamey,
might have
like,
left it
was-
out for
It was like
days.
sitting at the bottom of the barrel, just collecting all those old juiced chicken, and they were throwing new chickens on top, but it was continuing to sit at the bottom of the barrel.
And then
So-
they had the audacity to tell you it was the marinade.
the marinade.
Wow.
And I said, I'm not paying. I'm like, I'm not paying for this. Well, we're using a new marinade. This chicken's fine. I said, no. And I was like, I remember going home. I'm just like, oh, my stomach.
Then we went to Subway, and Josh got sick.
Eat fresh.
Which is just as bad as the Golden Eagle, bud.
Well, yeah, at the Golden Eagle, I've only done breakfast there. When my brother was visiting, he got a garbage plate at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Animal.
But
Starting his day off.
he was up from North Carolina for like 4 days, and I think he had like 2 or 3 garbage plates.
He couldn't have
at
waited
a
till
time.
lunchtime, went to Jimmy Z's?
Him and Jimmy Z have got beef. We talked about
Oh,
this.
that's right. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Anyhow,
Anywho.
yeah. So there's these old people behind me at the booth when I'm with my dad, and I'm listening to them, and they're just like, they're just going after Trump. All the media, they're after him, and then the guy's this old man's just bringing up like the pundit talking points. It's just like, yeah, did you hear what those illegals did? They it's just such like fear mongering.
Those illegals.
Something like that, It's just like, oh yeah, the illegal immigrants, they're just killing everybody.
Hasn't this country been afraid of immigrants since the dawn of...
Oh my God, we had the Chinese Exclusion Act.
Right.
We in
The
the
Italians in the 20s.
Well, it's funny because in the 1920s, maybe even before that, we basically banned immigrants from anywhere except like Western Europe. And then like not until like the 60s, maybe even the 70s, where we're like, okay, we'll let like Mexicans, Asians, and other people come in.
I feel like the only time immigrants were welcome were when we call them Native Americans were like, hey, how you guys doing? Welcome.
Oh, you need to learn how to plant things?
let me help you.
We'll
Hey,
show you.
What's that gun? Ah! Like, literally,
That was a fatal mistake.
I'm
They
sure
should have let them all die.
if they knew what we know now. Right.
because the people that came to like Jamestown, they were called G-men, short for gentlemen, and they were like, "Oh no, it's beneath me to farm and mess with the soil."
Because that's a woman's duty, right?
No, because that's like a poor person's duty.
Yeah, these were rich land barons that came to...
They came
They just
because they
sat
thought
and they were fat and happy.
thought like people would just find them gold, and then they'd be like, "Sweet, got a bunch of gold."
That's what they did in Mexico.
And yeah, when you look at like Roanoke, how everyone just
No one
died
knows what
mysteriously.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I started
We don't
watching.
know.
It's funny you say that. I started watching. I know it has nothing to do with like American Horror Story Roanoke.
Oh, I've been meaning. I normally watch a lot of American Horror Story. I stopped. I haven't seen Roanoke yet,
What-
or the newer one.
What do you think's more likely, Kyle? They all died, or they integrated with local Indian tribes?
Probably a mixture of both. I mean, I remember
Native Americans, sorry, not BC there.
Because were they the Roanoke settlers? Were they a part of like the first people?
They were separate. They weren't part of like Jamestown or anything like that. They were a separate colony in Roanoke, Virginia, which was a terrible place to colonize.
Yeah, basically,
Because it's marshes and stuff, so you get a lot of mosquitoes that carry disease. It was not an ideal
they
location.
just didn't know how to do. I think it was more Jamestown. They were like shitting up the river, and then the water would flow, and then they'd get their water from there. Like they didn't realize. Like, don't you know you're drinking your shit water right now?
Right. You shit down.
That's gross. I never really thought. I just knew like mosquitoes and weather and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the poop coming downstream.
But
Do you think they just
there's-
drank poop right from the glass? Like just
I don't know.
lapped it up?
I mean, because
How many?
The smart thing
settlers
to
were
do
there?
is to drink alcohol.
Wasn't
I
there,
don't.
like 300 or something for Roanoke. Okay.
It sounds about right. I'm not sure though.
Well, because they all just
Well, like
disappeared.
this
That-
one
300 is a
guy,
large
I
number.
normally know his name. I feel like, but he
Alex Jones.
Well, I left Roanoke to try to get some help back in
The libtard racist.
and when I came back there, the whole town was deserted, and then just on a tree there it said Krakatoa. What do you think that means? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
And don't stick your dick in the stump.
What I
That's
think
my big
happened
stuff.
is that Hillary Clinton in her time machine, she went back to Roanoke. She slaughtered all the people, took the children back to the pizza place. So they're just raping 1600s children. From the 17th century.
There's no documents on it.
Even though I'm Alex Jones, I'm pretty good at knowing that the centuries are above the year you're talking about. And
And after they're done with them, they're giving them to the Catholic priest of the 1950s, so they can have their way and kill them.
and that's the truth, everybody.
That's found truth.
That's the truth.
But see, that's the
Take
shit.
your word
So
for it.
going off what you said, that's the shit. Like, and I try to be objective to what I hear because, like, for instance, like, I'm obviously like I consider myself a liberal, a Democrat, but sometimes like Cuomo says shit, I'm just like, whoa, dude, what?
America was never very great.
No, that's fine. Like,
I
That's
guess
fine
I
to
was
me.
taken out of context. In the fuller thing that he said, it didn't make more sense.
but just like stuff like. We're never going to have marijuana, legal in New York State. And now, like, I had my own research team. We paid $27 million to do this study. And
he used to be.
That's why we
way-
lost our signs. They had to sell them. Like the
Cuomo
highway
u-
signs, they had to junk them for money.
I think some company bought them and is putting them up again.
Cuomo used to be way more
Really?
conservative.
It's just the I love New York. What is so bad about those fucking signs? One, it is a waste of money, right? It's a horrible waste of money.
Well, they obviously did something. Someone rebought them and is going to pay to re-put them in the ground. Like
It's like, I think, Kyle and I were at Beer Park, a local beverage establishment, and they have like advertising on the bikes, or what do you call those? The fucking beer bikes that people ride on. Like there's
what the
like
fuck
8
are those
people.
called?
But they have
I don't
like
remember.
like it's just silly way of advertising that really. Why do people even pay to advertise? Like,
Bud
is that
Lights.
gonna be like, man? I really want a Bud Light because I saw it like
why do people
subconsciously.
pay to
Bud Light
advertise
needs
on
as
urinal
much
cakes?
advertising as they can get.
Do people really advertise on your own? Cakes?
Yeah. I want to put our logo on urinal cakes. Got shot down.
You know,
That way people can literally
Tom.
piss on us and not forget.
see, that's a brilliant idea because our podcast is not very widely known, and if we were on urinal cakes, people would be like, "What the fuck is this?" Okay. And then they would also think we have a pro-American agenda. Sorry, Tom is pissed, but I feel like if people listen to our podcast, they would be like, "We're supporting this like liberal agenda and Obama and all Hillary Clinton stuff like that, and we're getting financed by the or George Soros and all that shit."
Sure.
Seriously though, George Soros, give us a call.
I just want to say that keeping it 4092 is not supporting the liberal agenda.
That's what you get for messing about with cans.
See, that's what happens. Your mic sock just kind of dipped. So that's what happens when you don't take Viagra.
Have you ever seen the videos of Alex Jones? He's just flailing all over the place.
This is why we need a fundraiser to keep our mics and mic socks
I
in
like
one
how
place.
there's tons of videos of Alex Jones. Just he like finds like this. He just takes off his shirt for no reason.
I made on our way back from North Carolina. I made my mom listen to the Joe Rogan with Alex Jones. It's like 3 fucking hours. We're both
What did they
just
talk
listening
about?
To. He talked about everything. He talked about. I mean, Joe Rogan's too like friendly with him.
Yes,
Which he is
I
with
agree.
everybody though. I mean, I don't listen to him on the regular.
Well, you
but-
want to get guests on your show. You don't want to be that guy that can't get big guests and they're going to draw viewers and listeners.
He got into, though, like, his alien ideas. Like, he basically thinks...
Ancient aliens? Please say
Like,
ancient
the
aliens.
way he said it was... The way he, like, started to say it was, like, you can't say I actually believe in this, but here's what's happening. And basically they want to, like, turn everyone into, like, cyborg things. But,
That's a bit out there. Like Terminator, but everyone?
it's like the transhuman... I need to listen to it again. It's like you transcend humanity, but he said we're winning, though. We're winning because we have love on our side.
We're winning the war to turn everyone into cyborgs?
Yeah.
Who's our enemy? Who was our rival in this? Besides
Well,
common sense.
And chemtrails are turning the frogs again.
Well, the enemy is really the alien Greys. Okay?
What doesn't he believe in lizard people, and like somehow they have a connection with the Jews who own everything in the
Well,
world?
look, I'll break it down for you. Okay, so the reptilians, they're not lizard people, they're reptilians. Shapeshifters, they've been around since ancient Babylon.
That's what Hillary Clinton is, right?
She's one of the big ones right now.
One of the big ones.
So the reptilians, they just want to control humanity. They eat us. They eat our children. The alien Greys, they can't go to heaven anymore. They can't transcend to the dimension of heaven, but humans, we still can. So they're trying to interbreed with us, so they can go to heaven.
So the more technology we have readily available, the dumber our society gets. I'm going to say that.
That's a scientific fact.
Because it's made us lazy, correct? Because
You
we're not
think
actually...
someone in 2018
Well-
could invent the cotton gin? I highly doubt it.
Which, Eli Whitney, my boy.
Well, here's...
The cotton gin.
This
The
just
fucking
kind of
cotton gin.
kind of popped in my head, but
Or the printing press.
You
it
think?
just kind of
thank
popped
you.
in my head. But it seems like humanity on a wide lens has gotten smarter, but when you look at the past, there was like elite, smart individuals, and I say elite because a lot of times these people were rich and had the resources to buy books and get education and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There might have been some people who did like have the rags to riches story, but it's rare. Definitely a lot rarer as farther you go back in the past. But those people were like polymaths. Like they would be not everyone, but a lot of them would be so super smart and self-taught in so many different areas. Like you look at the founding fathers,
Renaissance men, right?
yeah, exactly. So like Thomas Jefferson, although he's got some
Benny Frank.
yeah, all those guys. Although
Playboy,
they got some like shady
Philanderer.
things going on, probably more than
Shitty
just
person.
some.
Ben Franklin sucked.
He invented the glass harmonica.
The glass.
And Thomas,
Glass harmonica.
do you know what Thomas
it's not a
Jefferson
harmonica,
invented?
It's like you take all these glass bowls and you put them on their side, and then you have like a thing that rotates them, and you just go like.
One of the things... So, I went to Philadelphia this summer. And
freedom.
Philadelphia. So I visited Ben Franklin's original home in Philadelphia, and I saw two of his shitters, which was my favorite part about it. But like they called them privy pots, right? So I think I talked about this before.
a privy
but
pot.
the one thing I regret was not going in the Ben Franklin museum, because I just think it
I thought you were gonna say not
because
going to take
you know
a
what?
shit.
Yeah,
That's
in the
what I thought. I taking number two.
no, because I was with my girlfriend and I wanted to pay the $5 to go in, but we were with two other people who were like, no, I'm not feeling the Ben Franklin Museum. I don't care if it's just a hallway of Ben Franklin artifacts. I want to go in the Ben Franklin Museum. That's a fucking
That's cool. Yeah,
founding father. That's a man.
$5. That's cheap for any museum too.
Right. So I went to the Johnny Cash Museum, which was like two hallways, $20. Fuck that. By the way, no. Like I see one Johnny
You
Cash.
can just
guitar.
watch the video of Hurt where he's playing inside his own museum, all sad.
I hurt myself today. I still like.
What have
There's
I become?
a sad Kermit, by the way. Sad Kermit. Go home and YouTube it, but it's Kermit the Frog playing "Hurt." I hurt myself to die.
I'm not scared to hop. I'm not that naive. I'm more than a frog. I'm more than just green. I'm more than a pollywog in a swamp. It's not easy
So,
to be green.
Great. That was a good Kermit impression. I'm going to say our
you.
hope lies in educating the children and nurturing their fucking minds because we're too stupid to figure out what's
It's got to
right
change,
from what's wrong.
though. You gotta change.
We need to put more
trying
money
to-
in education. And
We gotta completely revamp it because I feel like the kids today are totally different because of technology, and we're still trying to teach them too similar to how we were taught.
Well, yeah, all the easy stuff's done for them now.
Have you seen those commercials where they was just like,
Can kids count?
just have your kids go to school on the computer?
Yeah, can kids add 2 plus 2 up themselves, or do they need Google to tell them or Siri to tell them what 2 plus 2 is?
No, of course they can. But,
Can they, though? For real? Show me a kid that can add 2 plus 2. I haven't seen one.
Handwriting's pretty bad right now. There's no.
Do they even know
cursive.
cursive? Do they?
No, they don't
even
know
learn
cursive.
cursive. How are they ever going to sign a legal document?
I had a.
Can they calculate
I had
miles?
an 18-year-old. I love this kid that I worked with at the most famous thrift store in America.
Savers.
Then the second most favorite, if that's the favorite. I had him like sign something for me so I could switch shifts with him, and he like couldn't even like sign a name that resembled cursive at all. It was just like, here's a bunch of hills.
That's why I'm sad. Just what
Like
happened?
my cursive isn't good, but at least I can like read it.
Can he at least convert miles to kilometers?
I can't do that.
The education system failed you.
I can't do that.
How many?
can-
how
I
many
can-
kilometers is in 1 mile?
Oh, we're not fucking Canadian.
The rest of the world follows that system.
It's an easier system because it's all based on 10.
16, is it 15 or 16?
I'll need to look
For
at
what?
my
Kilometers?
If
How
I
many
look at my
kilometers are in a
speedometer-
mile?
Yeah.
It's like 0.65 kilometers in a mile. What'd you say?
Look, all I'm saying is
1,600 yards a mile.
whatever a foot is should be the measure of the king's shoe, and that's what a foot is.
Is that really what it is?
No, but that's a great. I'm
that's
sure
a
that
great
was said
page.
to multiple kings to make them feel better. What about me though? I'm a size 9.
I'm 9
The
and a
mile
half.
would be
I
so
didn't
long
know,
with my feet.
You have elf feet, man.
No, I have 9 and a half. I didn't know you were smaller than me.
Look at what my hands are. Imagine if we measured a mile with my hands.
I have size 12.
Legit, my hands are so small. It'd be 9,000 miles to get to California.
I'm the Shaquille O'Neal of this point.
My hands are kind of small too, but I had
that's a title no one bestowed.
I had a
upon you.
guitar teacher who was like looking at my hands and was just like, "You have like the perfect hands to play guitar."
Oh, maybe they want a little bit more. Comments like that. Those
Yeah.
are saucy comments
One,
in the
ask him
workplace.
if he was Catholic. Two, ask him if he was a priest.
Poor.
Come into my confessional, Kyle.
I've never, I was raised Catholic, never had to do the confessional.
Oh.
that
You
I
never had to do the
remember.
dashboard
I
confessional?
can see why they had the confessional handy, because there's a lot of shady shit going on. Like, oh, fucked him again.
It's definitely like a
Once again.
it's definitely like a movie trope, Like, oh Father, I'm a bad man. I killed again today. I'll just do 12 Hail Marys and you'll be alright.
Good. I banged a little dude today.
Why were you Irish?
Wait, was that in Irish?
Yeah, when you did the priest voice, I feel like you went. They can
A lot
only do
of-
one thing.
A lot of
I
Irish
thought it was almost like
or Catholic.
New Yorker.
Maybe, I don't know.
Or-
We're in the impressions part of the episode, so I'm just trying to keep up.
Oh,
All right.
what's wrong with you, lad?
Quick
Oh,
send
so you
off.
killed some people, did you?
Josh, how'd you feel about Burt Reynolds dying? Hot take, quick take.
Oh my god, we got to talk
Great.
about Burt Reynolds.
Oh,
Quick take, 4 minutes.
Asshole, great in Boogie Nights.
There we go. Really good as Adam Sandler's sidekick in Longest Yard.
Excuse me,
Go.
Smokey and the Bandit. Breaker 19. I have tears starting to flow.
And his latest role, and I don't know if they completed it. We may find out. But Once Upon a Time in America, Quentin Tarantino's latest movie he's directing now, which will be released next year. We may find out. That was his latest role.
And that's how you do a hot take. Thank you so much for listening.
Movie.
Yep.